Welcome to Mission Log Engage, or welcome back to Mission Log Engage, Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. I'm John Champion.
And I'm Norman Lau. On our main Mission Log podcast, we say in our contact segment that we may use your comments on an upcoming episode of Mission Log. And we created this project, Mission Log Engage, to do just that. Engage with your emails and comments and messages.
And this show is specifically for the YouTube audience so that you can actually watch us respond to your feedback in an unedited and unexpurgated discussion. That is what we do. You can find us over at youtube.com/Roddenberry Entertainment. Just look for the Mission Log Engage playlist. So, by the way, Norman, have you been checking? What's cool to me is I've been seeing comments now on those videos and people sort of batting around our responses and what the initial email or comment was. So it's cool to see that happening. Really appreciate those of you who have joined us here for Engage on a daily basis, or just once every now and then.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's exactly kind of like what we wanted to inspire people to do, to go to YouTube, to follow the playlist, and to engage with what we're saying in the comments of the people that are posting their feedback there. One of our big goals here is to turn the Roddenberry Entertainment YouTube channel into a destination channel, not just for Engage, but for the host of all of the other content that's on that channel as well.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's jump into the first content. And then, you just go back to the playlist where we'll drop new episodes throughout the week. Norman, you're not like me. You face things head on. We're very different in their respect.
Is that a good thing?
Well, I guess we'll find out as we discuss this. So you picked for the first one this week an exchange from Facebook with Jared. And here's what's so funny to me is that you picked this and it's like the first or one of the first responses to us doing responses on Mission Log Engage.
Right.
So now with fear of becoming too self-referential, here we are doing a comment about these comments. Would you like for me to read this so you can respond to it?
How about we role play? So,
okay, all right.
Would you mind taking the role of Jared, and then I can answer my responses as I would have responded to them anyway?
Okay, you got it.
Right.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So here we go. No more Norm line. Oh man, I'm sorry, Jared. I'm messing it up already. No more Norm line readings, please.
Can I read this on Engage?
Sure.
Was there something specific about the line readings you didn't like? I need more feedback to fill 5 or 7 minutes. As you may have heard, our Engage shows consist of very articulated critiques and comments.
Okay, if I'm making a more formal comment, I would say no more Norm line readings, please. Since the first time I have found them to be distracting and annoying, the word that comes to mind is cringe. I do not think that they contribute any further insight or analytical value to the episode. If Mission Log wasn't covering DS9, which is my favorite Trek, I probably would have bailed on the show. To be clear, this is not a criticism of Norm's general contributions to the show. While I don't always agree with some of his viewpoints, he is always thoughtful and is a good and entertaining host, live or otherwise.
Oh, you mean me reading stuff in character or in characterization/impressions? Gotcha. Well, I enjoy doing that from time to time, as do many of the listeners. So while I do appreciate your feedback, I do what I feel is right for my own enjoyment of a recording. Some may like it, some may not. Such is the way of things and life.
Yes, I figured there was some level of self-indulgence involved. Like I said, cringe. When I say I almost bailed on the show, I mean I almost turned off the show the moment it started. Not committed to sticking through Voyager, to be honest.
That is, of course, entirely your preference. And if you choose to, then thank you for listening this far.
Wow, man. Like I said, you really jump right into it. You just take it on the chin.
It reminds me of a conversation that I had when I was at Star Trek Las Vegas for the 50th anniversary. I was wearing my Enterprise uniform.
Yeah.
And somebody walked right by me and said, wow, season 3 really sucked about Enterprise, and kind of like walked away. I followed this person right to the next booth, and I walked up to him and I said, why don't you explain yourself a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, you clearly have an opinion about season 3 of Star Trek Enterprise, or else you wouldn't have said what you said. I heard what you said. You were definitely saying it to me. So why don't we have a conversation about it?
Mhm.
I said, what specifically about Star Trek Enterprise did you not like? And then there was like a minute or two of hemming and hawing. And I said, you didn't watch season 3, did you? And he kind of copped to it. He said, no, not really, but I heard a lot about it. I'm like, okay, look, I understand. There are a lot of opinions out there about it. But I think that if you wanted to make an informed decision and make an informed response to Enterprise, and I think that you should do yourself a favor, at least watch the season. And he
Yeah.
goes, that's fair. And we had a conversation about it. This reminded me a lot of that
Hmm.
because this conversation could have turned sideways really quickly because it's on social media. And the one line, first of all, forgive me because I'm ignorant about certain things and I had no idea what a line reading is. I'm like,
I see. Yeah, that is not how I think of the word line read. Like a line reading is, when an actor reads a line
mhm,
in a script or does something, then that is, their reading of that line belongs to that actor. And something that actors hate and ask you not to do is when a director comes in and says, "No, I want you to do it like this."
mhm.
And it's different from giving directions, saying like make it happier or make it angry or make it, but actually speaking the words as the actor should say it. When I hear
Ah,
line reading, that's what I think, a director giving direction. I assume what Jared hears me, he means, doing impressions, which
yeah.
you've done every now and then. Some of your greatest hits, I would say, there's Kirk, there's Worf, there's Zek. Who am I missing? You do a great Morn impression.
There it was.
Yeah, that
I
was
thought it
so
was
good.
fantastic.
It was
I work
perfect. Yeah.
really hard on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I read the first line, and if I left it at that, then I wouldn't have had a very well articulated and crafted response because I'll give credit where credit is due. Opinions about what I do or what I don't do, just in terms of my own personal satisfaction on a show, that's debatable. It's like
Sure.
comedy, right?
Yeah.
People,
Yeah.
it'll either land with people or it won't. My impressions will land with people or they won't. But I have to do what I feel is satisfactory to me for the energy that I can bring to the show. And he was able to explain that in great detail and point out that it's not about the content that I provide or that you provide. It's about certain things that just are cringy to him. And I
Yeah.
get that. I totally get that. Not everything's going to land with everyone. Sometimes my own impressions don't even land with me. So it's true.
Yeah, but look, this is one of those things, and we'll wrap it up here pretty quickly. But it's one of those things where I think, first of all, I am entertained greatly because you have a talent for this kind of thing,
And my
and
job is done.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
done.
there we
I'm
go.
done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel like it isn't overplayed, but every now and then it's just like, ooh, hey, here's a little comedy bit to slip into the show. That's fine. Um, but there are certain comments that Mission Log gets that are about the ideas discussed, which is really what we want. There are other comments that we get that are specific to a style or specific to a joke or specific to a thing. And honestly, those were impossible to answer because
Mhm.
it is as individual as every listener. And if you took every comment that said, don't do this joke, but do this instead, don't talk about this way, but do it this way instead, you wouldn't have a show anymore. You would just have this weird, disjointed mishmash of ideas, which is why at the end of the day, we need to do what we feel is best for the show.
It's called the
So,
camel. It's called the camel theory. A
yeah,
camel,
yeah,
you know what a camel is, and if you don't, if you don't know this joke, a camel is a horse designed by committee.
yeah. Right, right. Yeah. So can't please all the people all the time. Personally, I'm here for it. And look, there are plenty of jokes that have not landed on Mission Log. That's fine. Somebody could do a best of or worst of reel one day for us, and I look forward to that. All right, everybody. Next time we will see you here at Mission Log Engage. You know what to do. It's at youtube.com/Roddenberry Entertainment. Look for the playlist called Mission Log Engage. And send us your comments, missionlog@roddenberry.com. Find us on Facebook or Twitter at Mission Log Pod. And remember, we may engage with your comments on air.